Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Showbiz himself, Mr. Zach Travis!
Thank you, ladies, thank you so much, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out to this very special Hollywood episode of Tuscaloosa Monorail. We are very, very excited to bring to you our bona fide A-list celebrity guest tonight, Mr. Andrew W.K. We're very excited. We went to great lengths to get this true Hollywood footage directly to you. So without any more ado, I bring to you our guest tonight from Douglasville, Mr. Andrew W.K.
Thank you very much for having me on the program. I'm very happy to be here.
Well, thank you for coming. We're super glad that you could give us the time to come all the way to an unnamed state to the east of Alabama, which we were in an undisclosed location. So don't worry, we will blur your face. We'll change your voice to make sure nobody will make sure to come and get you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, are you against states outside of Alabama, at least when it comes to the show?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're fine with having
We're in.
Well, we are in. We'll
Get that.
We'll
You edit that out? Okay. Well, I've never heard of that before. But I can understand sort of being loyal to one state, and at the same time, I've heard people that won't even mention certain sports teams' names. It's like a curse to even say it, so I thought maybe you felt that way about but how long was your travel to get here?
Our travel was roughly, what, two and a half hours.
There's lots of detours. Kind of stuff.
Yeah, there was several broken roads. I-20
Oh, wow.
is not the most well-used road.
There was a lot of traffic today.
What about you, however? Yes, tell us about your travels to Douglasville.
Well, we just traveled from another place that I won't, out of respect, name the name of. And then we had been in a different place before that, which was actually in the past, which, 2 days ago.
Okay.
Meaning sort of, if you're in a timeline, I guess it would be to the west.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we can.
But not in the direction of the west, actually.
Okay.
But just in terms of...
The Old West? Like Cowboys and Indians?
No, I just mean if time is moving from west to east.
Oh, okay. All right.
But you could travel to the west in the future, and you could travel to the east. You could travel to the west.
You can just name it. Where were you?
I actually don't remember.
Okay, well, that's fine, too. Well, we're glad to have you on the show, and of
Yes,
course,
thank
the
you.
biggest question we'd like to ask you is, how great does it feel to come back to the greatest state in the nation, Alabama?
Oh, yes, tomorrow.
Yes,
When we go east.
exactly.
Yeah.
In time.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it, actually. One of the greatest, most life-changing experiences that happened to be a concert, but I look at it certainly as a life experience, was in Birmingham. And I was at a festival in the Sloss Furnaces, and it was the first time that people had ever gone so crazy for our show. I mean, we were all just completely shocked. We had been on tour, but for not that long, and I think I was almost dreading the show because I thought that the audience would strongly dislike us. One, because we were playing towards the end of the night, which I thought was very unusual considering how new we were. So that was a bit concerning, and also because most of the bands that were playing were very, very, very heavy metal, hardcore, or pop punk bands, and we had just assumed that people that liked that music would strongly dislike us, maybe just for the simple stylistic differences. But it turned out to be, I mean, a truly overwhelming experience. There's footage on the computer, I think you can find, of it. And since then, we haven't played in the Alabama area as much as I would like, although my parents were just there and lived there for a short time recently.
Wonderful. Wow.
Thank you.
Have a family resident here in the great state of Alabama.
No. They just lived there. Oh, you have a resident there?
No, I thought you were saying that your folks lived there for a little bit.
Well, I mean, like for a few months.
Okay, well that's fine. Good
But,
enough.
Yeah, I guess they were a resident. I mean, how long do you stay someplace? Is it that you have to get mail there?
In Alabama, as soon as you move there.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
you're in one day.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
So tomorrow, for example, I will be a resident of Alabama.
That'll be
It's the hospitality.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
As soon as you get there, we're ready for you to be there. All right. Next question. What do you think of Tuscaloosa Monorail?
So far,
Just in general.
what the idea of a monorail in the town of Tuscaloosa, or just this program?
This program, how do you like it?
I think it's fantastic.
Good.
It's actually a good example of hospitality. So maybe that's sort of, is there a tradition, a grand tradition of Alabamian hospitality? Is that something that you guys are just continuing that legacy?
Oh, most certainly.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, I like that aspect. You've been very nice to me, which is much appreciated. I mean, I can handle meanness and some amounts of cruelty, but I always would choose kindness and the gesture of a friendly attitude, which you have, and the gentleman that can't be seen right now. Can you be named?
It's
Okay.
the production assistant, Walter. He's
All right,
fine.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm enjoying it very much. Do you like your program?
If I had to lie, I would say it is the greatest program I've ever seen.
Okay.
Ever in the entire world.
But
Fantastic.
The truth is, you think it sucks.
No, it's actually pretty good. Maybe not the greatest, but still very, very good.
It's a quality program. That is the impression that I have, which you don't sometimes need to rank it as best or worst or even on a scale of 1 to 10. It's just a very quality program.
I think I agree
Program.
as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for coming out to our special Hollywood episode of Tuscaloosa Monorail. Now, usually on the show we have our guests perform live for us at the Green Bar. However, Mr. Andrew W.K. sadly was very, very busy and unable to make a live performance there. And sadly, due to some special Hollywood regulations, we are unable to bring you the joy of Mr. W.K.'s music. However, there are no regulations that say I cannot listen to Mr. W.K.'s music and then, of course, tell you about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these earbuds in, just like this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start Mr. Andrew W.K.'s It's Time to Party off of his album, I Get Wet, and you can listen in at home in 3, 2, 1. Now, the first thing I notice about the song is that it is very loud. Okay, Mr. WK has now informed me that it is in fact time to party. He continues to tell me it's party time. And now he's giving me a list of reasons why it is in fact time to party. Mr. WK has now informed me that in fact it is party time, and there will be a party tonight. Still time to party. Again. Oh, not done. Not done yet. Nope. It's still going to be party time. Okay. There seems to be some sort of very loud musical break here. It's still time to party. Excuse me, it's time to do something. It is time to party. It is time to party. Wow. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, Mr. WK. What a fantastic song. And I hope you folks enjoyed out there at home too. We'll bring you more right after this break.
Tuscaloosa Monorail is brought to you by Eat My Beats, The Green Bar, Left Hand Soap Company, and the Druid City Brewing Company. If you'd like to sponsor or appear on Tuscaloosa Monorail, call us at 205 us an email at Tuscaloosa Monorail at marvinvideo.com.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about everything that you know about Taco Bell?
Okay, well, it was created by a man named Glenn Bell, and I believe that it wasn't called Taco Bell at the very beginning. It was called, I think, Taco Tia, and it's first established in California in a town called Downey, where I believe their headquarters is based. I was able to visit their headquarters. When they first began, Mexican food in general wasn't that widely experienced in America, not to mention around the world. And Taco Bell specifically helped to endear this great nation to Mexican food. Now, certainly certain areas, Texas, well, really the whole Southwest was familiar with it. And a lot of people in Mexico were also familiar with it.
I would think they would be.
They seem to like it a lot. But they were kind enough, the great folks of Mexico, to share not only so much great culture and history, but also this wonderful food. But it was a bit of an experiment. And Glenn Bell was very inspired by the, at that point, relatively new fast food phenomenon. That McDonald's was certainly a big part in establishing Ray Kroc, who bought the McDonald's franchise from the McDonald's brothers for actually a very small amount of money. He turned it into the visionary fast food experience that we now sort of take for granted. So Glenn Bell wanted to follow in his footsteps to a degree and thought maybe that this taco craze could catch on, and he was right. And even from the very first day, there's a great story, an anecdote about a businessman that sort of wandered into Taco Tia. The name was changed to Taco Bell a bit later, and ordered a hard-shell taco, which, again, was a lot of novelty just in the idea of this unusual-looking food, this crackery, crispy, crunchy, chip-like container for delivering meat into your body, seasoned ground beef. And this businessman apparently was one of the first customers, maybe it was the very first customer on opening day, took a bite, also because he had never bitten this food before. A lot of seasoned ground beef spilled out onto his tie and dresser. And Glenn Bell, who was there, I think was initially very concerned that, oh, great, of course, this is going to happen to everybody. And the guy said, that was the best thing I ever ate. I don't even care about my shirt and tie. Give me 6 more. So I think that was the first encouraging sign, much like my experience in Birmingham, that, wow, maybe people will like what I'm putting out there and offering into the world. And there's a lot more, but I can talk about Taco Bell all day. I will continue if you want, but I was just thinking maybe I'm beginning to ramble a bit.
Well, I think we hit the high points. I think you've got. We were just very. We wanted to touch on that your love of Taco Bell.
I'm a big fan of it, and not just the food, but the whole feeling of it, the whole aesthetic, the whole universe of Taco Bell appeals to me very greatly. From their logo to the way it smells when you walk inside, to the way you smell when you walk outside. It's just there's a lot of sensual experience to take away beyond the great taste.
Very good, very good. This is something. This comes from a friend of ours.
Okay. Is he nice?
He's very nice. He's a great guy. We wanted to know what is it like to live in the average day of Andrew WK?
Well, very enjoyable, for me at least. But this is, you never know. You could take someone else's brain and put it in my head, and they experience things as I would, and think it was awful. Or even like a nightmarish kind of feeling, like a bad psychedelic experience. They're like, let me out of here, goblin. Just maybe everything looks, for all I know, the way things look to me might be totally different than how they look to you, even just like the floor and the walls and things. But other than that, in terms of day-to-day activities, there's just constant partying and, well, sometimes travels. Okay. But there's really not a lot of routine, and that is probably what I'm most grateful for about what I get to do, is that every day is different. Not always in an unpredictable way. I mean, I'm predicting that I will go to Alabama tomorrow, for example. But what it will happen within that is always very exciting, and it keeps life very interesting. And that's just what suits me. I also have friends that really like routine and like having every day be the same. I don't like that for me, but that's just me. Okay. Some people don't like Taco Bell either. I can't understand it. But
I don't understand either. Okay. Sometimes you don't need to listen to people. You need to listen to yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I like to think.
Well, that's good advice. Close them out and tune into you.
That's what we want to.
That's what we want to do. We want to Tuscaloosa Monorail. We want to be as loud as possible so that no one else can get in between. Exactly. No. We're great. Yes.
The overall life experience of going through life, going no. Can't hear you. This is good. This is good. Then you also don't have to learn anything either, which is very helpful because there's only so much time you have.
It's one of our second tenets, actually, is we want to leave our viewers with nothing, if at all possible.
Almost, or even a deficit.
Maybe.
If we can take away.
We've lost time. They've lost time.
That's true.
If they got something from it, hopefully the ratio of net gain is lower than zero. That's what we're hoping.
Would it count if they considered the time lost and the realization that you wasted their time? Does that count as something that they took away?
I think it counts.
Is it possible for there to be a void, a vacuum?
I think it counts as something we've gained.
And
it's zero-sum game. Television is a zero-sum game. There are winners and there are losers. We're trying to slowly creep up to be a winner.
Okay.
Which means I think The Simpsons will have to go off the air.
There's only room for this town is not big enough
for The Simpsons or Tuscaloosa Monorail. It's one or the other.
Well,
we're shooting big.
They had a good run, so
right. Well, they can't really complain. I don't think they could.
I think that would be a little conceited. Let someone else have a try.
30 minutes every Friday. Come on.
Right there behind the camera. All there. My mom's out there.
Your mom? Where?
Yeah, she's right there. See?
That's not my mom.
No, it's my mom.
Yeah, it's totally.
That's her right there. I see her.
I don't have time for this.
Alright.
We're on a schedule.
Oh, see, the Humane Society brought like $20 or $30 to check it out.
Damn it.
$1, bring us some real entertainment. Desperate dogs and youth today.
And speaking of entertainment, everybody, my name is Zach Travis, and I'm here for Tuscaloosa Monorail, sitting with the event coordinator of the Green Bar, Mr. David Allen. David, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. Well, we want to know what's happening at the Green Bar.
We got a July 12th Mancino play with Kill Mama. Mancino's some fresh locals. Got kind of a Led Zeppelin vibe to him. Hard, heavy, late 60s, early 70s.
Hell yeah.
Kill Mama's a South Florida band. Guy-girl duo, or I guess guy-woman duo is the more appropriate phrase, because she is old enough to drink. Good God.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway, the woman sings. It's amazing. She's got a real Grace Slick voice. Like, I hate to use the word heavy again, but man, it sets you back. Lots of reverb on it. If you're a fan of the White Stripes, you'll probably enjoy them. And that's No Cover at All on July 12th. July 13th, we got Josephus and the JGM. If you've ever been wondering what a band that writes a song, what would Lenny do sound like? Here's your answer. You can check out, they got a killer music video. It just features Lenny Kilmeister as like a 60s movie hero, just gashing people and I guess solving murders. I don't know what the proper phrase is.
Solving murders with more murders.
Solving murders with more murders.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. And that is also No Cover, I believe. So every show for the next 2 weeks is that, yeah, every single one, No Cover.
Look at that. No cover at all to come out to the Green Bar. And are we good?
We're good, I think.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, no cover at all for 2 whole weeks straight here at the Green Bar. And of course, we have the 205 night every Tuesday. Come out and see some great new local bands from right here in the 205. Of course, every Wednesday, we have open mic night with the very tall Ham Bagby. The very tall Ham Bagby, of course, every Wednesday. No cover for that either. And of course, we got a couple comedy nights coming up on Thursdays. Not always, but sometimes even comedy on Thursdays.
We're actually, we can't sing that.
Okay, we hate the comedy.
We should do that.
But that's every open mic night every Wednesday right here at the Green Bar, starring, of course, the indelible Ham Bagby. Well, thank you very much, David. And that's what's happening right here at the Green Bar.
Yeah.
Perfect. There you go.
Well, Andrew, what we're going to do is we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
Should be really fun. It's called, excuse me, now we're going to play a game called What Do You Really Think with Andrew W.K.
Wait, before you said it was a little game, and then when you reset it, you didn't say little. Were you feeling like you were insulting the idea of the game?
Yes.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to read a series of questions that will all start with, what do you think of?
Okay.
And then something.
All right.
Your job is to respond in one word or less.
Okay, so no response counts.
Yes, you can have no response.
Okay.
They will be your bodily
No, I meant
structures.
any of the responses don't count. No response counts.
Yes.
Yeah. If like we'll kind of just like shoot them at you. It's more for going at getting the rapid fire.
Okay.
There we go.
I got it. I understand.
All
now.
right. So all these questions begin with, what do you think?
And I say as fast as I can, one word or less.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, here we go. What do you really think about globalism?
One word or less.
One word or less.
Oh, that's what you said. Just say as fast as I can, one word or less.
Gotcha.
I could probably say it faster. One word or less.
Okay, Syria. George W. Bush.
Interesting gentleman.
How about two words or less?
No. One
All
word
right.
or less.
Interesting. The new Batman
No,
movie.
gentleman.
Okay. The new Batman movie.
The one that hasn't come out yet?
Yes.
That was the answer.
Roger Waters. Barbara Walters. The interstate system.
Very nice. Very.
Cell phones. Microwaves.
Very nice. Very just nice.
Microwave burritos.
I didn't think it was going to be. Holy smokes. Yummy.
Pecan sandies.
Don't care. Yucky.
Oh, Grandma Travis's famous bread pudding. The University of Alabama Crimson Tide.
Puppet.
Ooh, the beach.
Sandy.
Sports.
Games.
Money.
Cash.
Solar power.
Sun.
CDs or tapes.
Media.
White or wheat.
Breads.
Pens or pencils.
Utensils.
Charles Barkley.
Gentlemen.
March Madness.
I saw him at an airport. It was the most polite, very tall too.
Really?
I mean, even bigger because on the court he didn't always look that big. But Charles Barkley, I think he knew everyone at the airport too. It was like he'd travel so much that he was just having with the security going through the security. He was having a sort of day-to-day conversations about what he had been doing and how was your kid doing. To the one lady who was looking at the X-ray machine, she said, "Oh well, he's been doing well, and thanks again." I was just very impressed with him. I said, "That's how I want to be, but never will be able to do it."
All right.
Because I can just never get that tall.
You are a very tall man.
Oh, thank
you. I think you maybe missed out on a career in perhaps basketball or professional wrestling.
Well,
Any number of
Thank
different
you very
things.
much.
All right, let's go back to Superman. Okay, what do you think of pro wrestling?
I like it.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh yeah, you haven't been saying what do you think of?
Excuse me. What do you think of Macho Man Randy Savage?
Brother.
What do you think of Ric Flair?
Special.
What do you think of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
Staunch.
What do you think of Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Beer.
Do you want to wrestle?
No.
Okay,
Wait, is that a do you think of, or is that just a...
that's just a question.
Okay. Well, I feel like I could be harmed, and maybe even worse, I could harm you.
I think that would be...
So it's out of respect for your own physical well-being that I don't want to have to do that. Because but my moves I don't have a lot of good skills in terms of manipulating someone else's body.
I see.
I just go and jab for their eyes right off the bat, and it works. I mean,
I would think it would be. It's a very effective fighting style.
And you can even pop them out if you really go for it. Just thumbs in, hold the back of their head, and then sort of like yeah.
Oof.
And I imagine that it hurts.
Probably hurts a great deal. I assume it would hurt a great deal.
I have one friend our guitar player, Frank, has a friend who pulled a guy's head off once in a fight. And he doesn't lie about stuff like that. The guy was he was about to be killed by these two guys who were going to stab him. And one of the guys had a gun. And this guy, they didn't realize they were trying to just mug him. They didn't realize he was a very experienced fighter and very, very strong. And one of the guys he punched so hard, his eye flew out. And then he was taken care of. And then the other guy, he just grabbed his head as hard as he could and lifted it. And I guess the guy was pretty heavy. So instead of his whole body going up, it just kind of pulled off. I don't think like all the way, like, oh, look, now I have his head. But it was separated from his neck, and like the guy died. But it was self-defense, so he got away scot-free.
Wow.
Yep, I didn't think it was possible, but
It doesn't. Wow.
yeah, Sergeant
Wow.
Frank, our guitar player, has a lot of stories.
Do not mess with that man.
No. This is his friend. That
Oh,
did
his
this.
friend did this.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's a friend of a
Oh,
friend. Yeah, not
okay.
not
Woo!
our guitar player cut an alligator's head off with a chainsaw.
Okay. Well,
That's what you might have getting it confused with the heads.
yeah,
One's a
yeah.
man that's a friend that did it. One's a alligator that Frank did.
Right.
awesome. And on that shocking note, we'd like to say thank you to our guest,
Wait, that's it?
Mr. Andrew W.K.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming out today. We're really glad you could make it. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. It was a pleasure. I had a lot of fun, and I hope to be on your program again.
All right.
Maybe when it's on Fox.
Maybe when it's on Fox instead of The Simpsons. Last thing, would you like to give our folks at home any more advice?
Yes, stay strong. You gotta soldier on. You gotta push yourself, and the more you're able to push yourself, the more resources you're gonna have to push yourself. Push yourself through your own brain, through the power of your body, your soul and spirit. Remember, things are never as bad as they seem, except when they are. And otherwise, make the most of every day. Don't ever take it for granted, and party hard.
You heard it here first, everybody, right here on Tuscaloosa Monorail. Back to you, Zach, in the studio. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on this very special Hollywood episode of Tuscaloosa Monorail. As always, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors, of course, from the beginning, PVC Pope Vatican City out in Cottondale, Alabama. Of course, we'd like to thank the folks at the Green Bar, and of course, Eat My Beats from right here in Tuscaloosa, doing all of our sound. Of course, we'd also like to thank our Hollywood sponsor, the Left Hand Soap Company, for keeping us all very clean. And we'd like to thank tonight our newest Hollywood sponsor, the Druid City Brewing Company, making sure we're not as thirsty as we should be on set. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight, and we'll see you next week. Have a great Hollywood evening.
Would you like a Red Bull?
I'm fine. We drank some Monster Energy earlier.
Ah.
Thank you, though.
Did they serve that at McDonald's?
No, I had to go to the Kroger across the street.
Okay.